Previously on the channel, I've decided it was time to change my aging daily driven Nissan Navara truck, and after battling with both Enzo and Elon, the EV man won, and I had to head on over to the dark side of Planet EV, which naturally didn't go down too well with Chewy. I managed to pick up a dirt cheap Model S and planned to give it a complete transformation. However, after just 2 days of driving the car, it broke down and I had to send it off to Tesla. I then received the shocking news that it needed an £18,000 battery to fix it. Naturally, I declined their kind offer and eventually we managed to swap the car for another early Model S and continue with the same plan again to transform the car into something that I actually wanted to drive. And all of this had to be done on a very, very tight budget. Now, I've owned this Tesla Model S for about 4 months now, and to be honest with you, my EV experience so far has been a bit of a mixed bag. However, something has recently happened which means that this Tesla has cost me nothing. Zilch, nada. It's basically a free car, and don't forget, this car has also got free supercharging for life, so it's a free car and it's free to run. Anyway, I'm going to explain later on how that has all happened. In the meantime, we have first got to finish off how this car looks, so I'm happy to drive it. Alright, next thing we're going to do as part of our transformation of this cheap Tesla is we're going to just change the colour of these calipers. They are looking pretty tired, so we're going to change them to red. It's going to give me at least another 20 mile an hour top speed on this one. So first of all, we're going to clean them up. So we are going to spray the calipers with this. This is a Brembo red. Well, that's what I bought. I don't know what's actually turned up. Let's just check it out actually. Yeah, that looks good. So we're just going to spray the calipers and well, as I said, I'm being lazy. We've taped them up. We're going to do the cheap, easy route here. So let's just get that there. Let's see how this comes out. We'll need to do a few coats of it, and now it's nice and warm outside. So hopefully this is going to dry nice and quickly. I'm going to do one side at a time. What are we, probably about 5 mile an hour faster already? Yeah. This one caliper alone. Job done. Right, let's do the other one. Okay, onto the back ones. Now, as far as I can tell, the caliper, handbrake caliper here, the e-brake, that stays normal grey, and it's only the brake caliper that actually gets colour coded. Okay, so we have left these to dry overnight, and the next bit is we're just going to put some logos on. Now these are heat proof, so this should be okay on their own, and then what we might just do, just put a little bit of lacquer over the top of that one. I'm heading on over to see my guys at the SG Brothers Body Shop, who only a few days ago I dropped the parts to finish off this car. Anyway, apparently they've done the job already. Super fast turnaround as usual from the guys. Anyway, we're going to go film the final stages and then fit this to the car to make it look a bit more modern. Give it a little bit of a facelift. If you recall, I'd already previously purchased a new facelift white bonnet and red front bumper, both of which had damage. The guys then worked their magic repairing and repainting in the correct battery black, ready for me to fit back on the Tesla. Now, one thing I'm really pumped and looking forward to is the product launch of the new Demo Macaron, which is the first of its kind OBD2 device to use the latest and greatest technology, Helium IoT. The Demo Macaron is a small yet affordable device that makes vehicle intelligence and applications available to everyday users like you and I. You gain 3 years of connectivity and insights into your car's health, location and performance, combining the latest technology to provide real-time insights and passive data collection. I can't wait to put it to the test and check out things like its AI-powered error code scanning and diagnostics, because unlike other conventional devices, it uses AI to actually find those codes that others just draw a blank to, which is something I always struggle with on cars like this. Another big difference that I really want to check out is you actually get rewards for connecting and also exclusive discounts on the Demo marketplace. And not only that, it's also a fraction of the cost compared to similar products on the market. To find out more about the hype and sign up to the pre-order, I'm going to put a link in the description below the video where you can go and check out the new Demo Macaron. Alright, so we are going to start to transform the front end of the Tesla, give it a facelift. Now, this is not going to be easy. There's several things that are going to make this a really tricky task. First of all, we are going to do the full front end, so all the bumper and the front bonnet, the hood. Now the issue with the hood is the new one kind of lips round a bit like this, so when you put all the front bumper on, it kind of all lines up. But the main problem is under here. We have an early car which has a double latch system. As you can see up here, we've got the 2 hoops. On the newer model with the facelift, we've got a single one. Now, as you can see here, this is the early one, and it's also got a slope to it. There is a company that makes a modification, but they want over £300 for a bit of metal like that, and this is meant to be a cheap Tesla, so we're not going to pay that. We are going to see if we can make one ourselves. This is a crazy angle. You can't actually get a socket in there. Why would you design something like this? Just about. Okay, let's go. Okay. Got it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we got the front bumper off dead easy. That's taken 5 minutes. Got to put it in place though, because we've got this loom here, and we're going to have to take this loom off, attach it to the new one, and I believe from what I've read, the loom needs to be either lengthened or modified. So I don't know, somehow we're going to have to figure that one out. Oh, they've been on there a while. Look at this. This is a good opportunity. Look at the amount of crap that is hidden back there. This is all for cooling the car and that big battery. I don't think that's going to be too efficient with all that crap in front of it. Look at that, that's mad. It's been there for a few 240,000 miles. It's my hands most days. Okay, we've got the front bumper off. Front bumper is off the car, we've got the loom off. Now we need to strip off some bits, not a lot. There's a couple of things that we are going to have a bit of a problem with. Number one, these kind of air louvers for the radiators, they are not a straight fit. We've got to make a modification on the new bumper. We've got to do some cutting. And then the second problem we've got on this is we've got this front radar here, which stays there, and we've got to make that look pretty with the new one. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that yet. So one thing we have to change here is the hanging brackets. I've got one in place. These are the old type, these are the new type that sit here, and just bolt on all of that front panel. Alright, so then this sits on here. So next we need to cut this, because it's so much deeper on the new style bumper, to fit these little louvers in. If you try and fit them in here, they come way out. Now if you look at this one, the little recess there is much more shallow. Show you on that one in the light there, compared to the depth of that right there. So we're going to have to use this. The old bumper, I've removed all of the louvers, all of the fog lights. We've put those on the new style bumper, which was not easy. There was a little bit of cutting involved on this one. We fitted all the new trim here, and then the only other problem we've got on my car is it has the front radar in this little grille here. Now that has a bigger opening at the bottom. I cannot use this grille, and the new style grille for the facelift is completely different. This is the new style grille. It's two parts. We've got this bit here with a kind of rubberized bit to go around the front radiator, and then we've got this grille here, which doesn't have the little cutout for the radar, and I don't actually really like that. So I'm going to make one using some of this mesh. £17, Amazon. We're going to make something that looks a bit like the old ones. We're going to have a little bit of a mix between the two. Now I'm just trying to make this radar look really nice. So I've cut the old little aperture out, and then the radar is behind here. You can just about see it back there. I'm just measuring up to see if we can get this somehow into our grill to make it look a bit factory. Now I'm taking a soldering iron and I'm just soldering, or I'm just melting away the plastic to join the two together. Alright, so the new homemade Tesla facelift grille is in place. It's come out nicely. We've got the surround, that's worked out great. I've got a few little bits to fettle on that one just to close up some gaps, but I'm really happy with that. We've got all the louvers in place, all those side lights. Front bumper is now on. I've got a little bit to do here. I think I'm gonna have to buy a new style front plastic. My one's snapped anyway, to be honest, so just to lose these little lugs here, but you don't see any of that. I'm going to show you. So we've got the new front bumper, front bonnet on, and as you can see there, it all lines up lovely. We haven't got that underbite, so none of this is sticking out, you know, a couple of inches. So next job is really going to be to do with sorting out a latch for here, this double latch system. So that's our old one. We have got a bit of a mission here, because it's not just making a double latch loop like that. The profile of this is completely different. So on the other one we've got much more of a steep angle, so we're going to use some of these bits and see what we can create to try and do it on the cheap. Okay, so what we need to make is a latch like this, but it needs to be on a flat profile. You can see it's angled there. We need to have a flat one. So we're going to use some of this metal plate. That's going to be our base plate here. Then we are going to use some of this threaded bar, and I bought this for a couple of quid. We're going to line it up when it's on the car. We're going to make the plate first so it fits. So we've got the holes here, we've got about the right kind of length. Then we're going to put it on the car, find out exactly where these need to be, if they need to be at any kind of angle at all. This one's from a Model 3, and you can see there, it's just got a slight angle to it. So without actually putting it on the car, we're not going to know for sure. So we're going to find the center point, which is 15 centimeters. Mark that up. Okay, now I'm going to line that up with the hoop. So I've got a center mark there. These need to go about here and here. So now we're going to use our pipe bender. Try and get this to bend. It's real tricky to judge it. Now we've got a load of wiggle room where we're going to trim this down, so it doesn't really have to be dead center. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to test those to make sure they both work. It's going to go in there. That is going to go in there. Lovely. Okay, this is what we've come up with so far. We've got the one loop on the plate here. Now, it's not very pretty. We will tidy all of that up when we've got the final version. But for now, we're in the test phase. So we're going to be using these two holes. As I said, these are slightly wider than the original front bonnet, which are about here. Okay, so Tesla, one thing to note here is Tesla, this is the original car with the early double latch system. Now Tesla did away with the front latch because it's really, this is the primary one that you need to do. This was just a backup safety latch, and well, I guess they figured they didn't actually need it, so they got rid of that on the newer model. So we're focusing on this back one. And then as a secondary thought, what I've used is this very cheap Model 3 one that I picked up for just over £10. The problem was this part here, the actual loop, was way too long, so I've cut it down. We're just testing it at the moment just to get the right depth, and then we're going to weld the bar across there. But for now, let me show you what we've got so far. Now we're going to leave those with a little bit of movement on it. Let's see. Nice. Solid. Okay, happy days. All right, the front end facelift is pretty much complete on the Tesla. We have a few little things to do, like the panel gaps just over here. We've got to adjust those. I'm going to make the latch look a bit more pretty. We've got a little bit of a gap down the bottom I want to sort out, but that transformation is exactly what I wanted to do to this car, just to bring it a little bit more modern looking, and it hasn't really cost a lot of money. We're also going to be selling the old bonnet and the front bumper and all that grille system as well, so we can offset quite a bit of this cost. Next problem on the Tesla is all to do with these, the 21-inch turbines. Now when I looked for a set of these, a used set, every single one that I looked at had at least one of the alloys that had been welded. That's because these are notorious for cracking, and now this set is no exception. We've got a crack in it, which means I'm losing a lot of air overnight, so we've got to go and get it welded or buy a new one, and I'm not doing that. Now you might recognise this place from plenty of other videos, Warfield Wheels and Tyres. They are my saviours. They're going to weld this one up, sort it out, and we'll be back on the road in no time.
2 hours later.
So we're heading back all ready to pick up the wheel. The guys have done a super job. 2 hours later, it's ready. Now the ironic thing about this is the car that I use every single time to bail me out when the Tesla goes wrong. It's a car that I've owned for 14 years as a daily driver, a Ferrari. Go figure. One more job. Got to go in there. It's the only way I can get it home. Now it was all going really well with my Tesla transformation. We've got the new front bumper on. The side with the wheels and the calipers looks amazing. But then I've been testing the car for a few days just to make sure all of this and the aerodynamics work okay. And something has happened which is a little bit unfortunate. Check this out. So I was supercharging my car the other day, stopped at the shop, went inside the shop, someone ran in and told me a truck has hit my car, which is exactly why it looks like this. Basically they have sideswiped the back of it, they've smashed all of the light, dented all the rear quarter here, all the bumper here, we've taken a nick out the bumper down there, all the rear light, it's taken off all of this trim piece here. That was all on the floor right next to the car. So a little bit unfortunate, guys, because that really was the Tesla pretty much finished, in my opinion. There was a couple of things I was thinking of maybe doing, but overall I was really happy with my cheap Tesla. And the great news was all of the stuff that I took off the front, so the bonnet, the front bumper, the blanket, and all the grills, the front under tray, I sold all that. It was all gone. I recouped some money. So this was a super cheap car, and well, it still is, but it also has that. But the saga does not end there. You see, every cloud has a semi-silver lining, and if you remember earlier at the beginning of the video, I said this Tesla has cost me nothing. Zilch, nada. So how is my Tesla now completely free to own and completely free to run? Well, after a bit of hassle with the truck driver's insurance company, yep, they wanted to write the entire car off for that dent right there. Anyway, that wasn't going to happen, so I got my mate Tim, the motor claim guru involved to sort the problem out. Now, what Tim doesn't know about insurance is simply not worth knowing. He was actually involved in writing the insurance code and he knows everybody in the business. Tim then made some phone calls, sent a couple of emails, and I kid you not, within 3 hours, the case was resolved. The insurance company finally agreed to pay out, and the icing on the cake is that they've agreed to pay out more than it cost me to buy the car and do the conversion work. So in this case, clouds do have silver linings, because I now have a completely free Tesla, even though I've got to fix a little bit of the damage still. I'm going to put a link to Tim, the motor claim guru, in the description below the video. And guys, do yourself a massive favour. Take note of Tim's details, because if you are ever in a predicament like me, have a problem like this, then Tim is the guy you want fight in your corner, because believe me, he packs the biggest punch. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all very shortly when we'll be back working on some proper cars. Until then, check out what I get up to on a daily basis over on my socials. Stay safe and ciao for now.